a quick look to see if he can find some early information for his teammates. We were asking the questions whether we'd see a Cypher. We haven't. It's going to be Killjoy.
Yeah, not surprising. Again, Steel's been talking that up a lot. He will be anchoring that A side. We do see that a lot of HotThots here are looking to come up this long position. The leader is out, blocking some vision on the Steel. He's trying to stay alive as best he can inside the site to buy time for rotation, but Scoob eventually finds him out with the Reyna. The spike will go down, and now it's going to be a retake here for 100 Thieves, a man down.
Up in heaven, Asuna on the Phoenix, looking to strike, looking to pounce. No curveball available. Now the shadows being put into place by Omen, locking down the sewers. This retake, one player behind. 100 Thieves will have to congregate together and make something special happen. And here comes the push. 3 of them below heaven. Lots of damage being inflicted, and 100 Thieves are coming out ahead in this trade. Knife to the head of Polarbear. He goes down, and now that leaves it all on Cypher, all on Ozo to try and clutch this one down. He can hear the spike being defused, but can do nothing to stop it. And 100 Thieves hot off. With a successful defused up their decision-making, they were opting to rush up C, and now they have to move over to A site. This is where Killjoy is waiting in the wings with Steel. But Ozo, with the aforementioned Vandal, going in first, taking point for his team. Now the damage coming through. Curveball does nothing. Still the entry go the way of the attackers. Ozo with a beautiful headshot. That will be another spike getting planted down. Even though some shock darts do come in, it won't be enough to fully cull and neutralize Cypher, who still stands. Good Cypher cage was implemented, locking down some of the vision. In hell again. This time it's Cypher there alone, split up towards the sewers. They need to get a move on. Don't have a bunch of utility left at their disposal, but they do have Dicey, and his ult is up, and he's looking for blood. Insta headshot onto Ozo. Here comes the smoke on top of it. He will keep going in, and he keeps landing nothing for headshots, doing so much damage in the process. The spike diffuser was killed, and still Breach is standing. Needs to come back in again, but there is the defuse underneath his nose.
Going to be looking to aggress on this long A position.
Right idea from Steel, just slightly off. The Cypher cage does mask some of that vision. Goes in again, but this is a bait and switch. And as soon as laid in wait with a curveball, about to connect in some eyes, and they try and get behind that one, but here comes the aftershock. Scoob in the meanwhile, with the Vandal going in, and Ozo spotting Steel and takes his head off. Maybe this can be the first time where HotThots can convert their opportunities. In amongst all of that action, the Hunter's Fury did come out, but didn't really pick anybody off. It softened up the Sova of KDS, but that's all.
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of a typical start to a round, right? The cage on the long A cross, the smoke top C, and then using that to pressure sewers. The big difference was they caught a glimpse of Phoenix with that recon ball, and they were able to push him out and get them to a 3-on-3, but they fall off the site and decide to pivot back to C, which is wide open. Smoke down on spawn, spike will get planted, but again, these retakes, they've been so dangerous. Hiko already kind of caught a glimpse of one. Not able to finish off the frag, but does a lot of damage there.
Breach waiting with the flashpoint. The second that one of 100 Thieves show their heads, could very well get flashed into submission. Here comes the Owl drone. Hiko looking for information. Oh, that Storm not quite able to connect from Dicey. This time he will get neutralized. Nitro in hot pursuit, 1v3. Spray is good for one, tries to transition, but finally HotThots have converted.
One of these links, they can't just sit on the site, Vince.
No, certainly not. We've seen a couple of rounds prior go in the hands of 100 Thieves, but very closely. Hiko, with the Phantom that you touched on before, putting it to good use. It will be another spike plant, but we've been here so many times before. Asuna, who's had a bit of a slow start on the Phoenix, now coming in and padding those stats with a 3K. Locking down the side, all falls upon Tony. At the back of the side, no chance really to get anything done. Down he falls, 7-1 lead.
Yeah, they just didn't really have the firepower to really put the pressure they wanted. It was a good idea, though, when they put Sova through onto the A link with the Breach Flash combination to try to control. They're trying to go for something way heavier towards C Garage. The Lear comes in, they're trying to push the tempo up.
Run it back has been propped. Oh my goodness, that utility could not have been better placed. The paranoia into all the cleanup frags. And Asuna, with the run it back, just to look for information, has found it. It's at the cost of 3 of HotThots. They only have Ozo and their Breach still standing. Dicey about to put this to bed. A flawless round. Somewhat phenomenal. Early on, Recon Bolt connects, but has instantly been shot down by Hiko. So no intel will be forthcoming. Meanwhile, 100 Thieves pushing in through Garage, already carving out a path with the ghost of Asuna. Ozo falls, as does KDS. Perfect utility again. Just so much smokes, flashes, blinds in the eyes of HotThots. And now with Reyna and Omen remaining, and a post-plant 2v5. Best of luck to them, Dust. I wish them all the best, but it's not happening, is it?
You know, Vince, you like to hold out a little bit of hope as best you can, and while Scoob, he's gotten himself one. There is some hope here, but it is the slimmest of it, isn't it? Everyone's been popping off when they've needed to. So we do see them setting up a lot of their players, and C-Cubby now using that ult to pop their way into the site. Great paranoia, takes Polarbear off the board with the help of Asuna's Phantom. That's complete C-Site control and a spike plant now for 100 Thieves.
Got it back successful, and now Asuna can rejoin the troops. Ozo waiting for the cavalry to arrive. What could be the final play of our Haven in our first best of three. Steals Sheriff round the corner, taking the head of TonyV off instantly, and keeping pressure and presence down on Garage and middle. This forces KDS's hand to go through. Hunter's Flurry is good enough for one, but now it's going to be a couple more running into the blender, and it's 100.
Maybe a third of the time that he's played he's played Reyna, because usually it's Phoenix like 66% or so. So it's not too crazy, but you know, it's a little bit different.
Cage triggered.
Down goes the utility. 100 Thieves trying to move into action, spring in towards their adversaries. And Asuna already taking control. Market locked down. Stabbing and crashing down, axing through the door. But it will be post-plant. The spike already planted. And our HotThots need to get up close and personal with these classics, with these pistols, and make a real go at this. Now the utility really starts to drive in. Hot hand thrown down, trying to cordon off areas. The dark cover's also been put into play. Dicey up close with the ghost is just shredding through heads. And Hiko puts the final nail in the coffin.
But at least he does hold some territory, setting up a great paranoia that will be used to try to take control of this tree position, as a lot of his team is setting up outside this A side. There it comes. It won't quite hit the mark. Scoob with a nice little counter flash. Not quite going to land the mark, however. But he is buying a little bit more time for a rotation. He's getting some assistance now as well.
Time running dry, 12 seconds. 100 Thieves need to get in. Asuna able to heal up from that low HP before, and then goes in for a second. They still get to get the plant down, but they're putting it in amongst the smokes. And Hiko goes in onto Tony. 2 kills came back in the blink of an eye. It all falls to Polarbear on breach. We'll be throwing in the fault line. Dewey's really nothing apart from alert the entirety of 100 Thieves to his presence.
A little bit pressure because of the clock. Still got the job done. And now we see some aggression on the Sheriff Hiko here from the HotThots. They do get into a lobby, but they are just getting absolutely rinsed. And Steel picks up a couple there with the Vandal.
One enemy remaining.
Yeah, pretty brutal. Moving along to A main, but may not even be required.
With in combination of the lockdown, 100 Thieves just really had their way with the site, and then good use of, you know, Omen's utility as well as the drones. It really kind of stopped that A Heaven retake in its tracks. And now Dicey here with the operator is going to pick up on that A aggression. Steel with the follow-up, so bodies are hitting the floor well and truly here from the HotThots.
Now 100 Thieves moving into position, drone out to try and find some info. There's a chance for a brief moment the Polarbear could maybe thread the Sheriff one tap, but instead it will be a flawless clean sweep round.
Kind of able to really brute force their way through after that initial take didn't quite go as clean as maybe they were hoping for. And now KDS in a lot of trouble here with the Hunter's Fury coming out. Dicey using that to get in and get a couple of big entries, and this round's pretty much already by the wayside.
Yeah, slick take, the Hunter's Fury through the wall, and then they instantly pushed behind that with the aggression through on the tunnels. And really, you can just scratch another round up to 100 Thieves. Really, HotThots have never seemed like they're remotely in this map.
No, not really. I mean, again, I thought there were some chances in the previous round based on 100 Thieves comp and how they were attacking B that maybe they could have shut it down before they were able to get the space in the site, but it was just to no avail. And this round, again, didn't really have the firepower to work with. They were trying to save up for this moment.
Was called out. Didn't hear a rolling thunder thrown in amongst all of that as well. Seemed like a lot of utility, and some ults were tossed into the mix as HotThots try and establish dominance outside of the A site. They do have the first pick, but now Steel coming in. Scoob takes him down. Headshot with the operator. Ozo Scoob goes in for another one. This is much better from HotThots. Now we're starting to see what these guys are capable of. They were eerily silent and suppressed to the early stages, but now they picked up 3.
As we get into our pistol of the second half, to see if 100 Thieves can go ahead and quickly put this series to a close.
Oh, Scoob, that's a big headshot partially through the wall onto Nitro. It springs 100 Thieves out into action, but it's only Scoob coming up with another 2. He's picked up a 3K. Putting himself in the shop window and saying, look, world, this is what I can do. This has been a phenomenal pistol round from Scoob.
The rest of their credits and try to see if they can't really fully punish HotThots.
Run it back alongside the flashpoint. Curveball also tossed in. Plenty of utility disposed just to deal with Asuna's position, but they've done that in style. And again, keep in mind that 100 Thieves, they went all in on this round. They decided to pull the trigger. And now they may be pulling the plug on the life support machine that is their economy. They have to get out of here. Steel is up close. He's at least putting down some pressure and some damage. And with the frag onto Scoob, maybe they still come back in yet. A 3v4, all 3 of them are healthy. Meanwhile, Omen is feeling worse for wear. Ozo at the back of the site is anticipating that some nefarious means may be afoot, but Polarbear holding it off. With a good fault line put into place, and it isolates both Hiko and the rest of his team, and he gets picked up. What do 100 Thieves do with it, though? Tony hiding in the dark cover. Seeing if he can maybe get the first pick, but it's going to be Scoob again. Instantly traded back from Steel's perspective. Wall is put down allowing Scoob to just change up his angle to the other side instead. Try and catch off guard. And now
the split's well and truly on.
Deployed. Yep, the split is looking good. They're rushing onto the site. Last bastion of hope is Dicey. He had a phenomenal first map. Can he go huge here? 30 seconds to go. Dicey waiting patiently for the play to come in, but Ozo takes his head clean off. Hiko now with the Hunter's Fury is putting it down range, but hasn't really done too much. Nitro doing damage in the meanwhile with the Phantom, though, brings it back to a 3-on-3, but Hiko is so low on HP.
Indeed, he is. Nitro trying to approach here from Market side, trying to choose his angles here. There's one player just below him. He now knows that the spam didn't quite work out. He catches Ozo pushing and knows where another is. This could really be harmful now for the HotThots, who now are going to see their last player isolated alone in the site.
KDS goes down. Pardon me, it wasn't Hiko that was low, it was KDS. Only 6 HP to his name. He gets picked off. A successful defuse of the spike comes in. And 100 Thieves take a 4-round lead, just too shy of progressing to the next of the corner. This position will be safe, but it also does give up a lot of real estate elsewhere. Main being aggressed on. Hunter's Fury doing damage, finishing off Nitro. That's a huge scalp to take, and now they can start to spin and pivot out into the site, spilling into the face of all the 100 Thieves. But Steel's position, which had gone unchecked, now comes back to sting against Scoob. He is changing up his angles. He's trying to get up close. He's trying to spray more down, but the Spectre will be his demise. KDS sprays in with the Phantom. Hiko has the right idea, just the wrong position. And he is now the last man standing. Gets hit by the shock dart. Oh, he's sprayed down.